All right, I'm showing up again. Like I look at somebody like Grace doing like she's what a month. What are you, Grace? Like a month through the second round of your 365 challenge, and I'm like, all hail. And my journey's been definitely different. So I kind of just have to embrace it and roll with it on that, and trust that like I'm showing up in my own best way. Um, it's really funny though because Facebook has actually been in my memories has been showing me like a lot of the old videos I did like in the first like week or so of the challenge, and I talk so fast and I was so nervous and like always felt like I had to look like super like pumped up, and here now I have like no makeup on, I'm about to go to bed and I look like I'm like a dead 12-year-old. So um like that part is what it is. And so I've kind of learned to accept it, like just like showing up and making yourself visible to the public and social media world and like my digital marketing friends and like all these super random peeps. Allison, yo, what's up? Hey, dude, okay, I have to say, Allison, you constantly encourage me with just like how much you show up and you're just like, this is me, take it or leave it. It really inspires me because I definitely get kind of shy about it for sure. Um, anyway, so something I've really been realizing lately, we'll get to the topic of this live. Something I've really been realizing lately is that, like I have a very kind of obsessive personality, and it definitely ties in with the like ADHD. Allison, shit is not obnoxious. Are you kidding me? I've like strongly admired this from the moment that I met you on the internet, and I'm like, all hail, really. It's not obnoxious. Okay, see, the thing is, like, I'm your audience, right? So, like, for me, it's not obnoxious. Like, I'm slurping it down. The people who are like, oh my god, Allison's so obnoxious, not your audience, dude. So, boot 'em. Boot 'em. Unsubscribe, delete, block. No, but for real, though. And anyway, so I've been investigating obsessive focus in my life, and part of it is like my brain's tendency because I have like massive ADHD, but like I'm either completely obsessed with something or it doesn't exist for me and I just like don't care at all. And that's not a healthy way to live life. Um, but like 20 years, 28 years of doing that, old habits kind of die hard. But so I've been really investigating like how I've been doing that in my life, where I like I'll either do it with like my sleeping patterns or my eating patterns or my exercise patterns, and it's starting to make me realize that I don't want a life that is necessarily like the same all the time. Like I don't want the White House with the picket fence and you have the same routine every day where you get up in the morning, you go off to work, and then you come home and you sit in front of the TV and zone out, and then on the weekend you go out and party and try to forget that Monday's coming and die. I mean, obviously, like I'm not doing that, but I've been so afraid um, of doing that in my life that I've swung to the opposite, and then like you can't, pardon me, you can't be like all party hardy, like going crazy all the time. It doesn't work. It's not sustainable, and it's not something that I want for myself anymore, because I've definitely gone through those phases quite often. Well, not quite often, but intensely and sporadically throughout my life. But it's made me realize how much that's created and drawn me towards like really unhealthy and stable things in my life, like just like in my health and my relationships and like the things I've done, and like how I've handled like, you know, the more technical things in my life, like my finances or taxes or whatever. Like you're either completely obsessed with it or you're just like totally avoiding it. And I don't want to do that anymore. And just realizing like the type of I've been researching the connection between like this type of thing and like addictive behavior patterns, because obviously this is something that runs in my family and the culture that I grew up in, and it's not something I want to do anymore, really, because it's you don't run your own life really. Like it's really letting like the outside circumstances and whatever else is going on like really yank you around. Instead of you being like, cool, I'm going to sail my own ship and I know how to handle whatever winds throw at me, but I've charted a course to where I want to go. It's just, you're kind of like, oh, cool, I'm just going to sit in the ocean and wait for the waves and the currents to take me wherever, and we're not even going to try to get anywhere, because what's the point anyway? So, anyway, that is a collection of random thoughts. Oh, what I've been thinking about, and working on that there. And just kind of really, like, deeply accepting me and, like, who I am for all the stuff that is, like, awkward, embarrassing, or weird, or that I wish I could be better at. Like, I wish I had showed up every single day for this 365 challenge. I wish I was, like, you know, right behind Grace in the second round, and I wish I was already, like, started and grown my email list. Like, there's all these things where I'm like, I have been sitting around waiting for somebody to give me permission, or to go into it, instead of just showing it and being like, cool, this is me, this is what I have. And finding the people that jive with that. And I've done that to some extent, of course, but there's so much that I've missed out from not doing that. Anyway, this is not a live that is chronicling my regret. Please don't think that, because I don't subscribe. I unsubscribe from regret, but I've definitely been thinking about all this kind of stuff lately, and, like, thinking about how I want my life to stack out. Like, for example, like, creativity, okay, right, creating things. Like, I love creating things, and I love helping people with them, but I also love making money from that, and it's just, like, I don't know, it's like the full flow of energy, right? So, like, what's the relationship that I want to have with my creativity? What's the relationship that I want to have with the people in my life? What's the relationship that I want to have with money? What's the relationship that I want to have with myself? So, definitely changing that up and realizing a lot of things, and just not even rushing to change it, but just realizing, being like, cool, all right, what can I let go? What can I incorporate more of? Because, as the third rule of thermodynamics states, nature abhors a vacuum. I quote that a lot, probably more than I should. It makes me sound smarter than I am. I do like thermodynamics, though. It's fascinating. The principles are wildly applicable to a wide range of situations. Anyway, as are Newton's third laws of motion. Okay, I'm tired, and, like, all the science I've ever learned is starting to come up. So, with interest of not boring everybody in the entire universe, I will conclude this live. Good night, y'all. Thank you so much for watching. Have a lovely evening.